What are the key themes, narratives, and artistic intentions of The Indecent Musings of Miss Doncaster 2007?
The story is about a working class woman, Donna, once Miss Doncaster 2007, and it follows her life through her work life, her sex life, her home life, struggles with social anxiety and social media, battling all the different voices that we all struggle with every day in our heads.
And it's told in an episodic way, and it's told through a lot of music, dance, but mostly humour. It's a real like slapstick look at all of this stuff. And over the course of the play, her dad passes away, and at that point, all of the kind of social anxiety starts to kind of distill when something real happens. Life and death come very strongly into the forefront, and she kind of finds her inner fairy godmother.
Yes, inner fairy godmother.
Annabelle, what form does the production actually take?
One person on a wheelie chair the whole way through.
Oh! So the whole show is underscored throughout by Jacob Welsh, who is amazing. We've got little bits of original music in there as well. And also there's sections of spoken word in there that have got beat underneath. So there are parts of it that feel quite giggy.
Yeah, gig theatre.
Yeah. Moments of that. It's a really physical show.
And the only piece of set
is the wheelie chair. We can do all sorts on this.
And there's a lot of fun to be had with a wheelie chair.
Yeah.
Annabelle, why do you want to bring the Miss Donny to the Vault Festival?
Well, firstly, it's a very simple show to get in and get out in like a sort of festival vibe. It's literally just wheeling in and wheeling out on the chair. So that's quite handy. Also, I think particularly the sort of audience that the Vault gets, having been there for like the past few years and watched various things, I think that is exactly the type of audience that will really enjoy Miss Donny and really get something out of the show.
Yeah, a young audience that might be in quite a transitional phase of their life and looking for answers and looking for validation that they're not alone in the decisions that they're making.
Yeah, for sure.
And technically, because it's because the show's underscored, it's not going to be affected by any noise from tubes or trains. It's gonna, if anything, that will just lend itself to a kind of the atmosphere of the piece.
Yeah,
Enhance the piece.
Okay, who is the cast and creative team?
So we have Annabelle York,
Yeah.
written and performed by Annabelle York, the show is. Rebecca Loudon is me, and I'm directing the show. Jacob Welsh is our sound designer and composer. He's a music producer, and he produces a band called The Hicks.
Very good.
And he worked with me on a show called Cockamamie last year, as did our designer, Ellie Loudon, and Oliver De Rowan, who's our assistant director. And Jake, Ellie, Ollie, and I have worked together. This is the third show we've worked together on in the last year. So we're a nice, tight team that work.
And I'm a newbie coming in.
And Jal,
Yeah.
who do you expect to be interested in watching Miss Donny?
I think that particularly a younger audience would really relate to the story. Sort of like mid-20s to mid-30s, who are sort of at that stage in your life where you have more responsibilities than you used to have, and you're making a bit of a transition into kind of being a bit of a grown-up and actually being able to do that and not doubting yourself all the time.
Yes.
So I think that them particularly would.
Yeah, and then there's also a lot of humour in it, and there's a lot of great
Yeah.
music, so there's also a real spill into an older generation, and also the generation older than us that have kids and are maybe curious about what goes on
Yeah, for sure.
in our kind of phase of life. Answers a lot of those questions.
And I also think they'll probably watch it and remember themselves a little bit as well, maybe what they used to get up to. I don't know.
Can you tell us about the marketing strategy for Miss Doncaster 2007?
I can. We've started with social media because we think that that's basically the best way to reach people of our age and also audience members that are most likely to come to the vaults.
We're previewing the show at the Camden Fringe at the beginning of August.
We are. And we've got a Miss Donny page on Instagram which you can follow at Miss Donny 2007. See what she's up to. Just give like a vibe of the show on there. People can see immediately what it's going to be like.
Yeah, and in the last 12 months I've had two fringe shows, one at the White Bear and one at the Hope Theatre, and we had some really nice reviews from those shows, and those reviewers have got back in touch and want to review Miss Donny. So
Yeah.
this is all part of the marketing.
All part of the marketing.
Scheme.
And we've got a good trailer.
We've got a great trailer.
Yeah.
We've had people contact us from off Facebook and Twitter, having just watched it, and are asking for tickets, reviewers, and the like.
The like.
What's news or press-worthy about Miss Donny?
Well, firstly, obviously the nation has been waiting for years for Miss Doncaster to make a comeback. So
True.
now here she is. Secondly, I've got a band called the Wild Tonics, and last year we were on All Together Now, BBC One's like a TV show, and we picked up like quite a bit of following from that, so that might be quite a nice link.
And the Wild Tonics also opened the Ned with
Yes,
Gary
we
Barlow
did.
and
Lauren Vula,
Lauren Vula.
Gabrielle. It was a good night. It was good. So there might be some like nice, interesting links there for press. And someone's at the door.